I've been playing video games for most of my life, and I would consider myself at this point a gamer. I've played a lot of different games across many genres, so I feel like I truly have earned the title of being a gamer. However, over my years, there have definitely been some big staple games that I have totally skipped over and have yet to play at the ripe age of 28. And those games are what we are going to be talking about today. Hi Rudy, my name is Alex, aka Quality, and welcome back to the channel. So I will leave it up to you all in the comments at the end of this video. Am I truly a gamer despite skipping over these 8 very important games? Let me know. I still think I am, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, and if I list a game that I haven't played and you're super passionate about, tell me why, and maybe I'll bump it up higher on my backlog list. Starting out with one that's kind of a little bit of a cheat. It's a little bit of a cheat because I have started this game, I have not finished it. I feel like I haven't even scratched enough of the surface of this game to consider that I've played it at all, and that is The Witcher 3. Now, this is a game that my mom actually played quite a while ago, loved it. So many of my friends have played The Witcher 3 and have absolutely adored it. And I'm very interested in it. I'm very, very interested in it. And I really liked the beginning of what I've played so far. It just hasn't really, like, grabbed me into it yet. It's weird because everything I like is in it. It's a fantasy setting, which I'm a big fan of. It's an RPG. There's fun combat, lots of cool stuff. The characters are really interesting. I love the characters and the world of The Witcher, but I wasn't able to get into it right away, and I don't know why. I think I'm probably gonna have to restart when I inevitably pick it back up in the fall. That's kind of what I'm waiting for, is like a fall vibey kind of game, because I do feel like The Witcher is very like fall winter feeling, so that's gonna be the plan. I'm returning to it soon, but yeah, I haven't played it. So many people love this game though, from the characters, the combat, the story, and most importantly, the side quests. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I am not the best side quest completer. Even though side quests often add a lot of context to the story, I'm usually barreling my way through a main story because I'm so interested in that I'll be like, oh, well, I can get some of the side content later. That's not the case for every game. Like games like Fire Emblem, I'll do all of the support conversations I possibly can to expand upon the characters. And in other games like Xenoblade, I was very into doing a lot of the side quests. But sometimes I really have trouble diverting from the main story. However, I've heard that the side quests in The Witcher are so good, even better than the main story, so I feel like I'm gonna have to do it. I think the other thing that's been turning me off for a while is just the fact that it's such a time commitment. I have not beaten a lot of games this year. If you've been following along on the channel, this year in comparison to last year, I've barely played anything. It's been really sad. So having a giant game kind of looming over me in the distance, it's been hard to say, all right, I'm gonna devote all this time to go play it when I really only played like 7 games this year, which is crazy. It's so crazy. But The Witcher 3, that is one that is going to be played very, very soon. But I felt like I needed to include it on this list because I bet people would have brought it up if I didn't. Kind of in a similar vein of Western RPGs, Red Dead Redemption 2, another game that I think I would love. I mean, who doesn't want to be a cowboy? Who doesn't want to be a cowboy dealing with disease and murder and stuff? And horses. I feel like if you've played The Witcher 3, you've also possibly played Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, I feel like those two fall into a similar sphere of being Western RPGs, open world, lots of side quests, lots of things to do. And a lot of the reasons I haven't played Red Dead Redemption are similar to The Witcher 3, but mainly The Witcher 3 brought me in more because of its fantasy setting, whereas even though I think Red Dead Redemption 2 as a cowboy, western-y kind of situation is really, really cool, that kind of vibe and setting doesn't like gel with me as much. I think it's fun, I think it's cool, I think it's unique, but it just doesn't like make me want to kind of get into it as much as like a fantasy setting or a sci-fi setting kind of does. So that's been one thing. Also, for those who might not know, I'm primarily a Nintendo person. Like most of my channel is Nintendo stuff, and I only got a gaming PC 3 years ago, which is also crazy that I've had my PC that long. That's like whack. So I'm picking up a lot of titles that I didn't otherwise have access to on my PC, but even then, sometimes it's hard to go back and play these giant games. There's a few more games like that on this list that we'll get to later, but kind of like retracing my steps in some of the games that I haven't played has been very interesting, and I don't think Red Dead Redemption 2 is gonna be one that I really go back and play, to be honest. Unlike The Witcher, where again, I have an interest in the characters, I have an interest in the story and the setting, and also The Witcher 4 will be out someday, I don't remember when, but someday. With Red Dead Redemption 2, I just don't feel a strong enough connection to the world and all that stuff. Whereas if Red Dead Redemption 3 comes out or something eventually, I feel like I could just jump in there and be totally fine. So that's kind of where I'm at with all of that. I don't know if I'd ever go back and play it. Maybe I'd give it a chance one day, but I don't know. I don't really see myself adding it to my backlog list. Throwing in a Nintendo game, and one that has another sequel coming up very soon, Metroid Prime. I've never played a Metroid Prime game. In fact, my experience with Metroid in general is very limited. I have not played a lot. Played a little bit of Super Metroid, played a little bit of Metroid on the NES, and that's pretty much it, actually. I never got Metroid Dread. Again, I can't do any of the Metroid Prime games, and that's mainly because of the first-person aspect of them. I maybe have mentioned this on the channel before, but in case I haven't, I have terrible motion sickness when it comes to any game in first person. It's terrible. It's beyond terrible. I don't know why. It just kind of happened one day and it never stopped. So it makes games like that really hard, and I especially think that with the motion of the Metroid Prime games, I'd be toast. I'd be done. It would not work out very well. Which sucks because so many people love the Metroid Prime games, and I feel like when Metroid Prime 4 comes out, I'm going to be missing out on a lot. That's not to say that I won't give it a try when it comes out. In fact, I could have given Metroid Prime a try on the Switch, but I just never picked up the remake of it. Maybe at some point in time I'd like to, but I don't know if it'd be more of just a picking it up for the sake of my collection or actually playing it kind of situation. Love the world of Metroid, I love all of that, but I feel like if I'm going to really get into the series, I'm probably gonna do it with the more traditional side-scrolling Metroid games versus Metroid Prime, where there's a much higher danger risk of me dying. This one might surprise a lot of people given that I'm a pretty darn big JRPG fan. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've played the original Final Fantasy VII. I have not played Final Fantasy Remake, Retrograde, the other one. I haven't played any of those. I love the original Final Fantasy VII. I think it is a stellar game with a fantastic story, great characters, great music, and all of that. So why haven't I played the remake? Similar to what I said about Red Dead Redemption 2, I only got a PC not that long ago. I don't have a PlayStation 4 or 5 or anything other than the original PlayStation. That's all I have. Which is unfortunate because I feel like there's a lot of PlayStation games that I would really be into if I had one, but it's hard for me to shell out the money when I know eventually these games are coming to PC. And in this case too, with Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's eventually coming to Switch too. Do I think I'm gonna get it on Switch too? Probably not. I'm assuming it's gonna be on a key card or some kind of very specific download situation, but it is on PC now. At some point in time, I would like to go and play Final Fantasy VII Remake. I kind of keep going back and forth between just wanting to wait until they're all out or starting with Remake and then just kind of slowly, gradually making my way through them until the next installment of it all comes out. I'm not really sure yet, but that is my plans. I'm also just waiting for it to be like super discounted. Sometimes it'll go on sale on Steam, but I'm like, well, maybe if I wait a little bit more, it'll get even cheaper. So that's kind of more of what I'm waiting for. The reason I haven't played this game does not come from a lack of not wanting to play this game. I mean, it looks gorgeous. I've had a lot of friends that have played the Remake series now and just absolutely love it. It's a great companion to the original Final Fantasy VII, so I'd like to experience it at some point in time, just probably still not for a little bit. Now, this one, which is kind of a two for the price of one, is a really big one that I have not experienced, neither in the game format or in the HBO show that came out. The Last of Us. 1 or 2, I haven't played either of them. The Last of Us 1 and 2 are games that pretty much every person of any gaming variety in my life has played. Even if they were the most casual gamer or the most hardcore gamer, pretty much everybody I know has played The Last of Us except me. I'm not going to lie to you all, I have almost no interest in The Last of Us. Please don't burn down my house. Please don't seek me out to try to kill me. I just don't have any interest. I feel like the premise is super cool. I really like that. Obviously, the acting is awesome. I'm not a zombie person. I was not a Walking Dead person. I don't care about zombies. I don't think they're that interesting, to be honest. Do I think the science aspect of The Last of Us is really cool? Yes, I absolutely do. And I know people love Joel and Ellie. I know they do. And you would think that a game that has such strong characters would draw me in. But I just can't do it. I just can't bring myself to want to devote the time to play them. I've watched enough of my friends and family members play The Last of Us that I feel relatively fulfilled that I don't think I really need to play the games at this point in time. I already know what happens. There's not gonna be really any big surprises or big emotional impact to me at this point in time, so I don't really see the point. If you disagree with me and you still think that me playing The Last of Us is a good use of my time, let me know. I'd be very interested. But yeah, as it keeps getting new iterations every few years, the HD, the 4K, whatever, the different remakes of it, I still can't find myself being interested in The Last of Us, so whoops. Maybe someday I'll watch the show, but I don't know. I don't like zombies. A game that continues to be relevant to pretty much, again, every gamer I've ever known, casual or pro, Minecraft. I guess, again, kind of like with The Witcher, it's not really I have never played Minecraft. I have played probably a collective 20 minutes of Minecraft on somebody else's account, and then I threw up. Once again, the first-person perspective does not do well for me at all, actually. It's really, really bad. And for some reason, for Minecraft, it was even worse. And I think there is, like, a different camera you can use for Minecraft, but I didn't. And again, at this point in time, I don't really feel a need to play Minecraft. I know there's a lot of customization that you can do, different mods. I think there's like an RPG mod or something that you can do for Minecraft, but I just have no interest in it at all. Like, I think it's cool what people can do. I like the creative side of things. That's all fine and dandy, but I find it really hard when I'm put in an open world and there's not really an objective. The objective is just go find cool stuff, which is fine, and that's fun in its own way, but it's really hard for me to get invested in a game like that, where it's like I kind of have to make up my own fun, which is so weird, because as an only child, that's like all I did, was make up my own fun, because I was alone. But yeah, that in combination with the first-person perspective, it doesn't work for me. It really, really, really doesn't work for me. So that's another game that I don't think I'm ever really gonna play. Even though I love playing games with friends, I have other games that I can play with them that aren't Minecraft, so. The last two are honestly kind of doozies. This is a game I have no reason for not having played, because it's been released on everything, and it, you know, maybe we'll even get another re-release of it at some point in time. Skyrim. I have not played Skyrim. I do own Skyrim now. I bought it for $2 on Steam, so I do own it, but I haven't played it. Skyrim is one of those games that is so monumental and so honestly important to gaming history that I do kind of feel like a poser for not having played it. So many people in my life had played Skyrim, especially when it first came out. I will never forget when Skyrim came out because it felt like everybody exploded, especially the older brothers of many of my friends, which was really cool. Again, it's one of those games that is so important to video game history, and it's really, really awesome. All the Elder Scrolls games are pretty cool. Like, I really want to try the Oblivion remaster. I don't have any nostalgia for Oblivion, but the remaster looks really, really cool, and I do still love all of the Oblivion memes that have come out over the years, so I do want to play that eventually. I did end up picking that up on sale as well. But yeah, Skyrim has everything that I would ever love. Fantasy setting, combat, dragons, cool music, cool locations, weird NPCs, a cool world to explore, and yet I can't bring myself to play it. Most of my friends that are still playing Skyrim also heavily recommend modding it, which I have no problem doing that. I will absolutely go on nexusmods.com and do whatever I need to do. But yeah, it's just, again, it's one of those big time commitments that I could spend to playing newer games at this point in time. Or again, the Oblivion remaster, where I feel like I'd get the same level of satisfaction with that I would going back and playing Skyrim on my PC at this point in time. So I don't know. Is Skyrim still worth it to go back and play? Because right now, I don't know. I'm really on the fence. I bought it because it was cheap. I might want to give it a try at some point in time, but is it really worth doing a full playthrough of in 2025? Let me know. And finally, which is a big game, especially even bigger now that we finally have a release date for its sequel, Silksong, Hollow Knight. I've never played it. Hollow Knight is, again, one of those games that everybody I know has played. Even if they don't like Metroidvania type games, even if they are not good at Metroidvania type games, almost everybody I know has played Hollow Knight. And again, this is one of those games that I have watched so much of Hollow Knight be played that I feel like I've played Hollow Knight despite never touching the controller for this game once. Now, this is also a really unique one because it's not like I never had access to Hollow Knight. I could have gotten it on my Switch years ago and I probably would have loved every second of it. One of the reasons, which is so weird to think about now, given that I have so many more Switch games than I ever really, imagined I would. When Hollow Knight came out, I was still in college, so I didn't really have a lot of money. I was really saving my money on buying the big games that were coming out, like Fire Emblem Three Houses, or Pokemon Sword and Shield at that point in time. So it was really, really weird for me to, try to spend money on an indie game, especially because then, before I even knew how big of a physical-only collector I was, I wanted to spend money on physical games rather than just a game that I could download onto my Switch. I think I kept getting into my head that, I can buy Hollow Knight at any time, but I want these physical games, which then put me into the cycle of, well, I need this money for these physical games, so Hollow Knight can wait, and then I just never picked it up. And again, while I had so many friends playing it at the same time, it's like I was vicariously living through their experiences, which was fine, but at the same time, I never got to experience it for myself. The world of Hollow Knight is fantastic, and the soundtrack is so good. Again, one of my favorite soundtracks for a game I've never played. Really, really, truly, but it is spectacular. So, once again, I pose the question, is Hollow Knight actually worth playing through on my own? Obviously, I wouldn't be able to finish it before Silksong comes out. I'm barreling my way through Final Fantasy X as we speak. But yeah, is it worth playing? Or at this rate, should I just skip straight over to Silksong? I'm very interested to see how people feel about that one. But that is enough outing myself for today. Those are 8 games that I have never played, despite pretty much all of them being said that they are the best game of all time by somebody out there. So does that revoke my gamer status? Let me know. I'm very interested. What's a big game that you haven't played that's kind of your, I don't want to call it a pile of shame of games you haven't played or anything like that, but yeah, what's a game you have not played and maybe have no interest in playing whatsoever? I'd love to know. And if you like what we're talking about here, you like talking games, all of that kind of stuff, we do it all the time, and I'd love to have you stick around and maybe consider subscribing to the channel, liking this video, doing all the YouTube hoopla. I would really appreciate it. But that's gonna do it for me, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!